How like many of you like to make a difference with your story? Raise your hands. Very good. We will show you how to do this. I've been doing this now for 40 years. I love and admire Eric Worre for who he is, me as a friend, but the passion that he has in giving you the tools that you need, not just the mindset, but the skill set of what it takes to build a strong multi-level marketing business. I can tell you, based upon my experience, and he's not paying me to be here. He's got a blue light special going on up in here. This is my friend that I love him. There are few people who can call me and I'll get on a flight and I only had 4 hours of sleep to come in and speak. I was very subdued and conservative today, but I love and admire him. But if you're serious about your story, make sure you email me and put in there the 7 story principles. Put that in there, and we will email this to you free at lesbrown.com. I'd like to leave this with you. After leaving Zig's memorial yesterday, who was a great man, who contributed so much to so many people, I said, God, let me touch and change millions of people's lives like Zig has done. Let me make my mark like he made an incredible mark. Let me touch hearts and minds like he touched me when I first saw him. And I drove many miles, 400 and 500 miles, to see him and Jim Rohn and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Charlie Tremendous Jones. Let me be an instrument to give people hope, to inspire them to expand their skill set, to encourage them to create collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. God, let me live a life that counts, that means something to people. God, help me to be able to inspire people like Mr. Washington inspired me, like Mike Williams, my mentor for the past 43 years, who saw something in me I could not see in myself, who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Please let me live a life that matters. I want to leave this with you. This stage of my life, my goal is to train 100,000 speakers who will have one message: hope, skill set, and collaborative relationships that will change how people think, how they feel, and how they act. 100,000 people outside of religion and outside of politics, both of which I believe polarize and divide people. 100,000 ordinary people who want to live an extraordinary life. God, give me the stamina and the vision to use my gift that you have given me to work with people who are hungry to make their lives count. I want to leave this with you that my mother used to love to say to me when she was in pain. Leslie, yes ma'am, come in here. Yes ma'am, mama. What is it, baby? Say that thing for me, boy. That makes me feel good. Yes ma'am, mama. My mother's dream was to raise 7 children she didn't have, to make sure we had a roof over our head and food on the table. And she never failed. We never went to sleep hungry. She's a hard worker and she had faith. I remember the first home I bought her in, this home she saw. I said, Mama, how you like that? She said, if I lived in something like that, I would feel like Mrs. Rockefeller. She didn't know I had planned to get that home for her. I purchased the home and I said, Mama, I think I know the people who live there. You do? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I'm going to stop in and say hello. And And I drove there and I opened the door. And she got out, and Mom at that time, around 76, she held my arm and we were walking toward the house. She looked at how beautiful this house was. She said, Leslie, you sure you know these people? Yes, ma'am, Mama, I do. And we got to the door. And I couldn't hold it anymore. I reached in my pocket, I took the key out, and I put it in the door. I said, Mrs. Rockefeller, this is your home. She said, Leslie, what are you talking about? I said, Mama, I bought this to you. I pushed the door open. She stuck her head in the door. She said, anybody home? I said, no, Mama. Nobody's here. This is yours. It's fully furnished. Multi-level marketing made that happen. This is going to happen for you. It's already happened for some of you. Mama has since passed. She was born on November the 6th, just like Zig. I remember her walking around the house looking and said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. And Leslie, you were such a problem kid. You were so crazy. I said, I know, Mama, but I'm rich now. I dedicate this to the dreamer in you. Say that thing for me, boy. Yes, ma'am. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's Baby Boy. God bless you. God bless your dream. God bless America.
Here's something else. The power of communication. Whew. The power to tell your story. I can tell you how important that is. I used to be a state legislator. I beat an incumbent, 22-year incumbent. I'm not bragging, but I'm just telling you what is. 2 attorneys ran before me and they lost, and they were very smart. I have no college education, and they lost. And you know why? They did not know how to tell their story. See, politics, as in everything in life, is the story you tell about yourself, the story you tell about your opponent, the story your opponent tells about you, and the story you tell about yourself if you are the opponent. Let me give you an example. 45. You notice he always gives all of his opponents names, Sleepy Joe. If there are times I look at him, I say, oh God, this is when I really miss politics. If I were running, I said, listen, traitor Trump, you've told 16,241 lies, or 16,241 statements. Let me ask you something. What are you hiding in those taxes? You went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they knew it was frivolous and threw it back. What are you hiding? Come on, talk to me, brother. Let me tell you something. I don't know what, I love a good debate. Let me tell you, they don't know. I would say every time I would open my mouth, you know, Hillary Clinton's not running, and I heard him talk about her yesterday. He called her Crooked Hillary. Every time I would open my mouth, I said, you know something, traitor Trump? I know you're in love with Putin. I know, I know y'all cool. I know y'all down, y'all in the closet, but you got to come out sometime. But let me share this with you. You can't sell democracy down the tube because you're in love with Putin. No, it ain't going down like that. And something else I want to share with you, Trader Trump, that as you look at yourself, look at your goals and dreams, why is it you never talk about Putin? What's going on there? And it's none of my personal business, but I'm just wondering, aren't you married? What's happening up in here, my brother? Let me tell you something. He would want to run all, he'd be chasing me all around the debate podium. I love debates, oh my God. I was in this debate in Whitehall in Ohio. And Whitehall is called Whitehall because they didn't allow black people to live in Whitehall. And I was in debate with Bill Kopp, who was a representative from the 29th district. And he and I were debating. And so at some point he said, you know what? He said, Les Brown, I just don't think that you will be qualified for my seat. And I say, excuse me, it's my seat. And when I win, here are the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to prevent utility companies from turning off somebody's utilities on Friday afternoon because they can freeze to death over the weekend. When I win, I'm going to make it required that money order companies have insurance coverage because a major money order company filed bankruptcy and people had worthless paper. When I win, I'm going to have a constituents day that every Saturday people come in and talk to me face to face. And one of the people in the audience, she stood up. She said, Mr. Brown, you are a very fierce debater. You're very good. You're very knowledgeable. But you're still a nigger. I said, thank you very much. I never would have known that had you not told me. The audience looked at her and looked at me and I was still cracking up. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Whoa, thank you, dear. Thank you. And people came out. They started laughing at my laughter. My mother taught me how to be graceful in ungraceful situations. They came out and said, man, you know what? We vote for you. For you not to get angry. For you to handle that statement like you did. See, anger is a wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. Oh, man. Wow. I laughed all the way to my car. That tilted the scale. I won 26,000 to 3,000. Your ability to tell your story. It's important. The story you tell about yourself. The story you tell about your opponent. And if you're in sales, the story you tell about yourself, because people are asking, who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? The story you tell about your company, the story you tell about your product or your service, and how you tell it is very important. I was working with someone I was coaching this morning, and she came on, just really mealy-mouthed. Oh, you know, we're going to help you begin to straighten your finances out. No. You can't come up in here like that. People's attention span goes in every 10 seconds. No. Speak like you own this space. This is who you are. This is what you do, and you are the one. You are an authority. Do you understand? Yes. Very good. Let's go at it again. Bring your voice down from your esophagus, down, lower. And it made all the difference. And how this person projected the story. You can create an experience with the story. The story, you can transform people's lives. I want you to write this down. I want you to, this quote was given to me, and I want to give me that. Where's that quote I was looking for? And it is very, the story, what it says succinctly. When you tell a story, something happens in a person's mind and in their heart that it begins to touch the emotions, and the story begins to expand their mindset to the possibilities. The story stays in the heart. Information is in the head, but the story, it's in your heart. And people are basically emotional. So when you work on your mindset, when you upgrade your connections, and when you work to impact your storytelling skills, the possibilities are unlimited. It's what you can do. If you're interested in learning how to tell your story, to transform people's lives, or to grow your business, to increase your sales, to build your multi-level marketing organization, if you might be involved in real estate, or you might be involved in insurance, you just have a business that you want to grow, you are the storyteller about your business. That's who you are. And your ability to do that is dependent on the skills that's required. Here's the quote that I was looking for. One day, when you tell your story, and listen to this, how you overcame what you went through, it will become someone else's guide on how they can overcome the same situation. Did you hear what I just said? One day when you tell your story of how you overcame what you went through, it will be a guide for somebody or millions of people on how they can do the same thing, because you are an example of what they can do. That's the power of story, and influencing, impacting, and transforming people's lives individually and collectively.
Back to story. So do you think story helps people realize that they have an addiction to helplessness? And,
Absolutely. You have to
build a bridge to get them away from that posture?
That's the purpose of the story, because what the story does is distract, dispute, and inspire. What you do, how people live their lives, is a result of the story they believe about themselves. If there are 500 people in an audience, there are 500 individual stories that's going on. So that's why it's important that we learn how to strategically create an experience with our story, so those 500 people will stop listening to their story. Through the course of your telling the story, they will back away from the possibility of blindness and say, I can't sell, or I can't do this, or I'm not ready to learn something different and new and change the page in my life. You cause them to back away from the possibility of blindness and inspire them to become, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives, because you've distracted them from their story, and you used the example of a Pauline Arhe or a Mike Jones or a Dexter Yeager to help them say, whoa, if he can do it, I can do it, because what's possible for one is possible for all. And now they're ready to start a new chapter with their lives.
Can you tell I'm a fan? I mean, I could just sit here all day and we could just talk, because, I mean, the way you talk is so... The average person wants to give facts. They want so much to, to prove to somebody else that they know something. So they're given facts and information. And through your stories and through the quotes that provide third-party validation,
yes,
that lets them know it's not just your opinion. It's other smart people have had the same opinion in the past.
Yes.
It's so masterfully done, and I hope you're getting a lot of tips here. And I hope as we're done with this interview, we're not done now, but when we're done with it, then you start to practice your story.
That's
and you start to tell your story to your dog and tell your story to your
and
kids.
get some coaching, because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You have to, this Les Brown that you now see, I didn't know he existed. I used to be a different person, but a guy named Mike Williams, he interrupted the story in my head. He said, Les, You can do more than be a disc jockey. What do you mean? I'm LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing puffer. There were none before me, there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single, love to mingle, certified, bonafide, duly qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. I had to kill him all. Bam, bam, bam. He said, Les, you can do more than be the MC at the Bottoms Up Club and the Pink Pussycat and the Jamaica Club. You can talk to corporations and organizations. I said, what would I talk to them about? I don't have any college training. He said, Les, all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You can learn. Okay, and so because of how he communicated with me, he created a thirst. One of the things I say to people, particularly when you come into this business, if someone has recruited you into this business, they saw something in you. And one of the things I strongly believe in, why Mike is still my mentor to this day, Mike Williams, and that is that sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. So whoever invited you into this business, they saw something in you. And if you don't see it, it doesn't matter that you don't see it, because eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you if you say yes to your dream and yes to the opportunity that the multi-level marketing industry can afford you.
Can afford you.
Yes.
I love it.
Because there's so much out there now. A lot of people looking at, and I look at things differently than most people. I'm always looking at the presentation. How many of you ever look at the quality of the presentation of the defense and the prosecution? You know, when you have something like this. And yesterday I was watching, you know, the difference between the defense and the prosecution? Story. The power of a story. The power of a story. Regardless of your political persuasion, the power of a story. See, this is a new day. And the style of communication in this new world order is different. It's quite different. People are who are successful, who are going to make a greater impact, who are going to be persuasive, are people who are trained on how to tell a story and create an experience with the story. With the story. When the prosecuting attorney told the story about his daughter, she said, I don't want to come back here anymore to the Capitol. I cried. I cried. It moved me. I cried along with him. It moved me. That's the power of story. It's the power of communication. This is a new place where we are. It's something that Tennessee Williams said. And I want you to write this down, because when I read this, it impacted me. He asked the question, he said, when you look in the mirror, he said, there comes a time where when you look in a mirror, what you see is all you're ever going to see. And what most people do, they stop really looking into their eyes and just look at their face. They make up their face. They don't make a commitment to transform their mind. They don't make a commitment to cultivate what's behind the eyes. They don't dissolve, they don't decide and become resolved to create something different that's looking back at them. And this moment for me, when I looked in the mirror, I remember it just came to me, dropped in my spirit, as Dwight Pleasure would say. I had broken up from a relationship, and I was in the mirror crying, and I was saying, this just can't be me. My cousin Boo was with me. I said, Boo, this just can't be me. I just cried like a little baby. Boo came in, and he said, as he looked in the mirror and saw my face, he said, if it's not you, who is it? I said, get out of here and leave me alone. I was crying. Women don't think that we cry when y'all break up from us. Yes, we do. We might hide it. Oh my goodness, this can't be me. He said, if it's not you, who is it? I don't know. You just leave me alone. And so I resolved, when I looked at who was looking back at me, is this me? Where my life was at that point in time? What I know that I have going for me? And that guy who was looking back at me, I decided right then and there that was not it for me. He said, there comes a time in your life when you look in the mirror and you know what's looking back at you. That person who's looking back at you is all you are ever going to be. That's an awakening. And I said, no, this is not me. Sometimes you can just become so unconscious and oblivious to where you are. You've been on automatic. You just doing things without thinking, and you look around and time has gone by and you say, wait a minute. How did this happen? How did I get here? And that voice says, wherever you find yourself at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. Now, you got a choice. You can ignore what's looking back at you, the man in the mirror, Michael Jackson, the woman in the mirror, or you can do something about it. And I decided I was going to do something about it. I decided that I was going to work on myself. See, the difference between everything that exists, the power that we have above animals, and whatever else we see. A tree can't be anything but a tree. An alligator can't be anything but an alligator. A dog can't be anything but a dog. But human beings, we can be anything we desire to be. If we're willing to make the commitment, if we're willing to invest the time and the effort to rethink our lives, to reinvent ourselves, we can be anything. We can change what's looking back. And that was a moment, a decisive moment for me. Have you ever had that kind of moment before, where you looked at yourself and said, hey, what happened? That you didn't recognize you. Sometimes it can be in a relationship where you're dying together rather than living together. Sometimes it can be on a job where your hair's turning gray. That job is not you. You overworked and underpaid, and you're spending 40, 60 hours a week, somebody controlling your life, telling you how high to jump, and it's not you. It's not you. You're living a misplaced life. You know it. On Monday morning, people who do that, the heart attack rate increases by 35%. They end up dying on the toilet, getting ready to go to a job that's not them. 86% of people, they know it's not them, and they die of a broken heart of living a life that's not them, and they have the potential of greatness in them to do so much more, but they decided to ignore what they saw in the mirror and refuse to see it again. Just spend time putting the makeup on. Yeah. Spend time covering the gray. Yeah, they're having a little revolution there. Oh, behave. Hello. Listen to me, Linda. Listen to me. Oh, I'm dropping some stuff, as these young people say today. I'm dropping some truth up in here. Somebody said, there he goes. Hello, whatever. And so when you look at yourself, look at your goals, and look at your dreams, oh my goodness, this thing called life. I want somebody to put on the right here, say, I feel you. Just put there, say, I feel you. I feel you, Les. I feel you, Les. Tyrone, somebody just asked for you. Tyrone just said, I'm busy. I've got some squirrels. I'm trying to teach them how to speak English. If you don't know, I have a squirrel friend named Tyrone that's on the west side of the house, and he's taught me squirrely. I'm bilingual now. Yes. So listen, if you believe that what you see in the mirror, there's more of you back there behind your eyes. If you believe that this just can't be it, if you are ready, just said, you know what? I have to face the reality that if I knew how to do it, I would have done it. You need a mentor. You need a coach. Your voice is so important. You see the difference of presentation. One just talking out their head, and the other one tells a story to make a point. You never make a point without a story, and you never tell a story without a point. It's a new world order. This is a new day. And because it's a new day, it's a new style of communication that's required in order to get a buy-in, in order to influence people, in order to transform people, in order to impact people. I was living in Crossroads Apartments off Sunbury Road in Columbus, Ohio. I just got fired from WVKO radio station. And I just said, you know, I can do more than just be here being angry. I can do more than that. And I decided to work on me. Robert Boyd, very good friend of mine, he came over to see me. Sometimes you need a friend who will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. He said, Leslie Brown? I said, yes. He said, things are not going to get better for you until you get better. Things are not going to improve in your life until you improve. That's all I got to say. And he turned and walked out. And I went and looked in the mirror. And I said, he's right. He's right. See, most people won't tell you the truth because they know you can't handle it. Don't cast pearls before swines, people of low consciousness, lest they turn and rend you, lest they get angry and turn against you because they don't want to hear the truth. You can't handle the truth. Yeah. But fortunately, I was in a level of consciousness. I'd hit rock bottom. I was at a place that I could hear. And he made me look at where I was, how I had fallen, but most importantly, that was not my rightful place. Your rightful place is where your thoughts have brought you. Your true place is where your thoughts can take you. And I invested in myself to elevate myself. I'm giving out right now. You go to Hungry to Speak and put in there, choosing your future, hungrytospeak.com, choosing your future, some CDs, some speeches that I'm giving away free. You are the subject area. You are the money. And based upon how well you communicate, based upon the kind of impact that you're able to make, to bring through your presence, to bring through the passion in your voice, learning how to create an experience with people that you can't see. The reason that I'm good at this, because for years I did radio and I couldn't see the audience. And I learned some things. I learned how to hold an audience's attention and be able to impact them, make them laugh, make them feel good. I can teach you how to do that too. I learned some things. I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. Now you ready to create a shift in your life? If you believe that there's more in you than what's looking back at you in the mirror, you're not listening to me by accident. You know that what I'm saying is true. You know. When I think about the people whose lives I've impacted around the globe, I mean, from around the world, if I wasn't able to communicate, if I wasn't able to reach them, to expand their minds, to touch their heart, to ignite their spirit, we would not be having this conversation right now. You've got a power voice, and there's a system, there's a systematic process to access that voice. There's no secret to success. There's a system to success. And the people who know how to communicate, the people who know how to impact an audience, have them on the edge of their seat, can bring them to tears, having them laughing in their tears, are the people that are going to be successful in this new world order. And we saw it yesterday. And it's going on today. It's going on today. I mean, that man who talked about his son, he had buried his son and his daughter as he was talking to his daughter and said, well, I apologize for what's going on, the riots that's taking place here. I'll bring you back another time. And his daughter said, Daddy, I don't want to come back anymore. Woo! Wow. And so this conversation is about developing your superpower. In the beginning was the word. See, our parents give us our bodies and our facial features and our physical features, but God give us our voice. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God and dwelt among men. Our voice. Death and life is in the tongue. Most people speak more death than they do life. Our voice. Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. Oh, come on now. Come on. Our voice. You want to change your life? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. When shall the kingdom of God come? The kingdom of God cometh not by observation. They shall say it's neither lo there, lo here. Behold, the kingdom of God. It's within you. It's within you. Woo, wow. Our voice, the kingdom is voice activated. That's why when you encourage someone, you stir up something in them. That's why when you speak, that you're able to ignite and release the kingdom of stories of greatness and potential and artistry, and enable them to expose themselves to a part of themselves that they can't go to by themselves, and that when you spoke, you exposed them to the kingdom of potential in them to live a larger life, to live the life that they were chosen to live their calling. A job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. And that calling is something that you love it so much you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. Most people are doing things just to get paid. Let me tell you something. When you do something that's you, It's a different kind of feeling. It's a different kind of experience. If you're ready to make money with your voice, with your story, with your knowledge, with your experiences, with things that you've seen, things that you have observed, I got to tell you this story. Listen, you won't believe this. This is going to blow your mind. You won't believe it, and you're going to believe it. It's shocking. It's a drop the mic moment. It's jaw dropping what I'm about to tell you right now. Just let some other people know and say, Les is about to say something that you're going to say, whoa, wow. I'm telling you, do it right now. Have somebody else. Listen to me. I will tell you this story. And I'm gonna find a way to make it work for you, all right? Okay, I thought it just dropped in my spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is primarily to men. Brothers, fathers, it's time to step up. Oh, some of you are. You provide and you protect, but far too many don't. My son, my oldest son, was working on his job. And there's a young lady that he knew that he was talking to, and a guy came by and spoke to her, and she didn't say anything. And so when she left from talking to my son, listen to me. This guy said to my son, "Hey, man, what's up with her? I've been trying to get a conversation with her, and she won't talk to me. She's ignoring me. She won't give me the time of day." And my son said, "I don't know." So when the guy walked away and she came back, because she moved deliberately, because she saw him coming over where my son and she was sitting. And so my son, Calvin, asked her, "Why did you move deliberately?" And this guy saying he's been speaking to you, but you won't give him the time of day. You know what she said? He is the father of our son. And because he's not involved, because he doesn't come around, he doesn't remember my face. Good God from Zion. Whoa! You can't make this kind of stuff up. You can't make this up. He'd been absent. He's a sperm donor. You can't make this stuff up. He's not involved in his child's life. He's been away so long, so absent, he doesn't even remember the face of the mother of their child. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Oh, we have. Oh, boy. You can't make that up. That's heavy. Yes. Drop the mic. You know what Tyrone said? You about to make me cuss, Mr. Brown. If you don't know Tyrone, it's a squirrel that's outside my window. He's taught me squirrely. He doesn't know how to speak English yet, but I understand it. You know, I've been in the house too long. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, this thing called life is just too much. It's just too much. As Jerry would say. See, part of being able to change what's looking back at you in the mirror is being around the right people. That's major. Being around the right people, having the right coach, the right mentor, having a different kind of environment, having different stuff coming in your ears. Nothing gets through except through the ears and the eyes. This is a time, this place where we are, you have to create a shift in your environment. You want to create an environment deliberately that sets you up to win. If you're ready to do that, so I'm ready to win. If you're hungry, see, the reason that I put in the work to change that guy that was looking back at me in the mirror, I was hungry to win. I was a father, a husband, I had car note and mortgage note. I was hungry to know the best part of myself that I did not see yet, and I was willing to invest in me to make that happen. I didn't have the money to do it, but I couldn't afford not to do it. See, sometimes when it comes to you, you got to become a no matter what person, that whatever it takes, that you're willing to do it. And part of that is to sacrifice. But when you start talking about how do I leave a legacy? How do I create a presence that when I die, that there will still be conversations beyond 2 weeks after I'm gone? A friend of mine died and somebody asked, hey, well, I haven't seen Marvin for a few days. Oh, Marvin's dead. He's dead. Yeah. How long he's been dead? Oh, man, about 6 months? Are you kidding me? I didn't know. You know why I didn't know? Because Marvin's life was so inconsequential. His presence was not missed. Now, most people, when they die, their presence will not be missed. But there's certain people, when they go, the word will go out. The word will go. John Lewis, oh, the word went out. Elijah Cumming, the word went out. These are bad brothers up in here. Aunt Boo Boo, Cicely Tyson, that's what we call her, Aunt Boo Boo. Cicely Tyson, when she took her last breath, the word went out. Her presence was felt. She made an impact. Those brothers made an impact with their lives. We're here to make a difference. Make an impact. If you're ready to make an impact, if you're ready to learn how to do that, to be around the right people, to be in a community of people that will introduce you to a part of yourself that you can't discover by yourself. If you're hungry, you gotta be hungry. And this place where we are right now, you wanna make it? Some stuff's about to happen. The bottom's about to drop out. With 47 million jobs being taken over by artificial intelligence. I saw online the other day, they had a robot jumping rope. I'm not making this up. A robot jumping rope, making salads, pouring drinks. Excuse me? I'm not making this up. This is a time you have to reinvent yourself to stay ahead of technology. This is a time you want to give yourself a competitive edge, because that's what you have to do. If you're around people who are on the same level that you are, who have not done what you've done, that you can't learn from, if you're around people who don't lift your spirit, people who don't inspire you, people who don't hold you accountable, people who don't challenge you, people that you can't learn by, you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. You around me, you learn how to earn $70,000 an hour or more. Why? Because of the relationship. People rub off on you. Sidney Poitier, I love to talk about him in the book called The Measure of a Man. When you go for a walk with somebody, something happens. Either they adjust to your pace or you adjust to their pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? And most of us have been adjusting to the pace of people below us. People who have no goals, people who have no dreams, people who are doing the same thing day in and day out. no sense of responsibility, no commitment to their children, no idea of revealing a vision and living from a life of legacy. When they die and they take their last breath, rather than leaving a legacy, they leave liabilities. Oh, help me, Lord. Can you believe that? This guy trying to have a conversation with a woman and ask my son when he comes back over, why won't she talk to me? What's up with her? She's stuck up for something? And when my son asked her when she came back, when he left,